So this is me after recording, and I just wanted to tell you guys that this will be a two-part series. I will be uploading the second part in a few days. So please stay tuned. It's really good. It is a little bit sad though, but it's okay. We'll get through it together, I promise. So I really hope you enjoy. You tucked a neatly decorated pouch of chocolates in your school bag. Your hands shakier than ever. Today was the day that you confessed to your best friend. You've been holding in these feelings for 2 years now, yet it feels like forever. Last night, you rehearsed in a mirror a couple of times. Well, maybe a little more than a couple, so you could say that this moment was something pretty special. You planned to tell him after school, but you knew he had volleyball practice, so that meant that you had to wait after that. Classes were nothing but mere hours to you, since the only thing you could think about was what would happen after them. Finally, the time had come. Since the two of you were good friends, it wasn't abnormal for you to show up at their practice. Coach Ukai blew the whistle and the team gathered to wrap up for the day. The first years circled around to grab their bags as they prepared to take their leave. That was your cue. Your heart was racing and your neck was sweating. You walked up to Tsukishima, the other first years around him. Hey, Tsuki? Can I... You were suddenly interrupted by another voice. Tsuki! A brown-haired girl ran up to your best friend and wrapped her arms around his waist, nuzzling his back. You stumbled backwards, not knowing how to react. I waited for your practice to be over so we could walk home together. She intertwined her fingers with his and swung their arms joyfully in the air. Thanks for waiting. His voice sounded monotone as he had adjusted his glasses. Sorry, YN. What were you going to say? He looked at you with the girl still latched to his side. His square glasses gave off a white reflection, making it so you couldn't even see his eyes. It was like a border that separated the two of you entirely. YN? He furrowed his brows with concern. It was nothing, you mumbled. Your voice sounded so broken, yet no one seemed to pay too much attention to it. Alright, then see you guys tomorrow. The blonde waved as he walked off with the female that wasn't you. Hinata sighed. Isn't Tsukishima's new girlfriend so cute? I'm jealous. He watched the new couple walk out of the gym as he hugged himself. Hinata, Kageyama whispered. Hinata looked up at Kageyama, who pointed to you. Your watery eyes weren't as hidden as you thought, as tears rolled down your cheeks. The thumping in your heart had ceased. Now it only felt broken. Your throat was sore from silent sobs, and you could feel the first year's eyes as they watched you with sympathy. YN? Yamaguchi called softly. His voice sounded so heavenly, but the pity in it was clear as day. You didn't want to be pitied right now. The team knew you were close with Tsukishima, so they could presume what was going on in your mind right now. Yeah, she's cute. You wiped your face with your sleeve as it soaked with your tears. Hinata and Kageyama froze. They were just two high school boys. They had no idea what to do. I better head home. Bye, you quickly said before running off, for if you had taken any longer, your sobbing would have gotten out of control. Your throat burned, and your eyes continued to pour out hot tears. Sure, this was a possibility that you acknowledged, but you obviously hoped it wouldn't actually be the result. It didn't hurt as much in your mind when you thought about it earlier than it really did. Your legs ached as you continued running. Where were you even running off to? You slowed down and gathered yourself. A wooden bench caught your eye under a softly lit lamppost. You hesitantly sat down and glared at the ground. Your tears continued to stream down as they dripped off your face and watered the grass. At least someone was benefiting from this. You tried to laugh, but you couldn't. Hinata was right. His new girlfriend was cute. Well, surpassing cute, to be honest. Her bouncy brown hair looked softer than a cloud. She had a large chest and curvy hips. Not only was her body desired by the general society, but her face was too. She could be a model if she wanted. You hiccuped as your sobbing worsened. How could you ever match up to that? It was hopeless. and you should have realized it sooner, yet you didn't. Now you were here, a crying, heartbroken mess. This is pathetic. You wiped your face. I'm pathetic. Why am I crying so hard? After a guy, too. Jesus Christ. You smacked your forehead, yet the tears didn't cease. You looked up and scanned your surroundings. Oh God, you were lost. This just added to the mess. First you were overwhelmed by rejection, and now you were in the middle of nowhere. A cold, crying catastrophe. Nothing could make this moment any worse. You rehearsed several times beforehand, yet your current situation was worse than anything you could have ever expected. YN? You recognized the boy's voice right away, but you didn't dare move your eyes off the ground.
YN, are you okay?
He kneeled down in front of you as he tried his best not to sound awkward. Kageyama-kun, you mumbled. You weren't sure what to say. Where am I? Leave me alone. Is she really that cute? You had so many options, yet not a single word left your mouth.
Do you want me to walk you home?
He offered. You silently nodded your head and wiped your face one more time, making your eyes redder than ever. Sure, Kageyama was awkward, but he knew how to take care of a friend. The two of you walked home in a comfortable silence, neither of you wanting to break it. Tsukishima wouldn't have done this, would he? You sighed and staggered through the quiet halls. It felt like every step was harder to take than the last, as if a pool of quicksand were eating you whole. A high-pitched giggle sounded from the corner of the hall. You didn't even spare the couple a glance as the female hugged your crush's arm. No words were exchanged between you and your friend. Not one hello, or how are you, or anything. It was as if you were both strangers. You noticed Kageyama and Hinata glaring at Tsukishima in a few of your classes. Kageyama must have told Hinata about what happened. It didn't make you feel any better, though. After school, you sat down under a nearby tree and opened the bag of chocolates. You made them specifically for Tsuki. This was a stupid idea. You chose one and took a bite out of it. It tasted like dog shit. Maybe it was a good thing you didn't give it to him. Here, Keikun! I made this for you. The voice caught your ear once again. You mindlessly watched as the girl dropped a box of chocolates into your best friend's fickle hands.
Are you a baker?
He asked her as he chewed on the sweets. No, I just used an online recipe.
Well, they're really good.
You sat there and took another bite out of your chocolate. Why were you still eating it? It sucked. Or was it just your mood that made it seem that way? Either way, the chocolates wouldn't have helped if they tasted like heaven or the devil's ass. You could be walking home right now, but you'd usually do that with Tsuki. Well, that definitely wasn't an option here. You knew it was silly to think he'd like you back. It was stupid to think that it would all end up in some cliché fairy tale where everyone lives happily ever after. You sighed and tossed the barely considered chocolates in the trash, dragging your feet wherever. It really didn't matter. I guess in reality, what you wanted was nothing more than a mere fantasy.